Welcome everybody, parents, some grandparents, family, friends. I want to start by recognizing our wonderful staff, and as we go through, if you could, we'll give a big standing ovation at the end of the list, because Baruch Hashem, there's a lot of people. Start with our principal, Mr. Matla, our Rabbeim, Rabbi Parmet for 9th grade, Rabbi Silverberg and Rabbi Kushner for 10th grade, Rabbi Nussbaum, 11th grade, and Rabbi Meisels for 12th grade. Our teachers, I think we even have our math teacher here today. Where'd she go? There she goes. Ms. Bazowski, Dr. Bennett, Mr. Hartman, Ms. Brown, and Mr. Swope. These people come in every day, and they really, really put a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, and they go over and beyond. And it's what we have here today is really a testament to them. We also have some people that come in to help us and to learn Torah with the boys in the evenings for night Seder. We have Rav Moshe Orenstein, Dr. Moshe Orenstein, Rabbi Yaakov Kaplan, and Rabbi Eliyahu Cohn. And they take time to come in, to give a shiur, to work with the boys, they prepare hard. And it's not easy at the night. It's not necessarily the most popular hour of the day, and I thank them too. We have some of our board of director members here today. Dr. Keller, David Keller, who's going to be handing out the diplomas. I'd like to thank Dr. Ledner as well, whose wife set up the beautiful buffet in the back for afterwards. And they're also Mayor Ledner, our former dorm counselor until he got married, his parents and our alumni. Rabbi Kushner, my dear brother, Rabbi Kutov, Nati Klein, Dr. Harris, Dr. Maltzmacher, not Dr. Maltzmacher, his son, David Maltzmacher, and my personal favorite, who is out of town, or did he make it today? Our alumni, Nate Boaz, who's also, Baruch Hashem, serving on our board. Last and not least, all the good-looking fellows behind me that they've scrubbed up real well, and they're ready to run for public office. They look great. They put a lot of hard work into this. It's there's a lot of. So this past Shabbos, we learned about the mitzvah of Challah and Gershon. Gershon, who's wearing the yeshiva emblem, because Rabbi Parmet puts the yeshiva emblem on everything he does. It's his cars, his if it would be permitted to have a tattoo. It's just yes. In this past week, we learned about the mitzvah of Challah. And challah is after we're done the whole process of growing wheat and harvesting it, grinding it into flour, and then we finally mix it with water. We roll it into a dough. There's one last mitzvah that we again have to give Reishis Arisai Seichem LaHashem. The first of our doughs we have to give to Hashem, and the process starts with so many mitzvahs that we have to do with our produce. It starts with bikurim, and then there's a korban omer if it's barley that we bring on Pesach, a mincha chadasha, the shtei alechem for wheat that we bring on Shavuos. As it's growing, we leave peah, the corner for the poor people. As we're harvesting it, to the next step, we have leket and shikha, also the gleanings or bundles that are left behind that we leave to the poor, another mitzvah. We finally bring it into the storage, into the silos, and there's a mitzvah of truma and meiser, another mitzvah at the second stage, from growing, harvesting, now we're storing it. And now finally we reach that final stage where the bread is about to be done. And we've ground it into flour, we mix it into a dough, we add the water to the flour, and now there's another mitzvah, Reishis Arisai Seichem LaHashem. The beginning, the first of our isa, of our dough, should be given to Hashem. And the lesson, I think, is clear to and it's a lesson I want to share with you boys, that as we move on to different stages, as we start a new stage, the reishis, the first thing we do, we should dedicate to Hashem. And you're all 18 now, or aren't you? Okay. Well, you're all nearly 18 now. You're all adults. You're all going to be moving on to bigger and better things, adulthood, a job, a family, participating and contributing to your communities. And yet, the reishis, the first part that you do, the reishis harisaysechem laHashem, that you're all dedicated and committed, that you're continuing in yeshivas next year, and you understand that starting that new phase, not necessarily the final phase, but starting that new phase in life, the best way to do it, the way to set the tone for it, is to start with reishis laHashem, that you started and you dedicated to Hashem by continuing on in yeshivas and continuing your avodas Hashem. I suppose it's also appropriate, right? Mitzvah Chalav, that when you come to the land of Eretz Yisrael, that's when you have this mitzvah of Chala. We do it nowadays, even though we're not in Eretz Yisrael, that's D'Rabbanan. But the mitzvah, the D'Oraisa, is when we come to the land of Eretz Yisrael, and Rashi explains that it's a little bit different. Mishuna biyazu, when it says, when they come to the land of Eretz Yisrael, as opposed to the other mitzvahs that we have in the Torah, it says ki savayu. It doesn't say v'haya b'voyachem. This term of when you come to the land of Eretz Yisrael is a little bit different than the other ones. And Rashi explains as the other ones, other mitzvahs that we have that are dependent on the land of Eretz Yisrael that the Torah introduces with ki savayu is dependent after we finish the job. There's still work ahead of us. You have to conquer the land, you have to divide the land to the shvatim, and then those mitzvahs will apply, then those mitzvahs will take effect. Whereas again by Chala, the Torah introduces it differently. B'voyachem. Even before you conquer the land, even before you divide up the land of Eretz Yisrael, you're starting this new phase, reishis harisaysechem laHashem, and that's a lesson in life. You're gonna, you'll build a new house, so maybe the first thing shouldn't be a backyard barbecue. Maybe the first thing should be take out a sefer and sit by the dining room table. Every single stage that we have in life, make sure that we do the reishis to Hashem. With that, I'd like to introduce our principal to take care of the awards and share a word. Mr. Matla, you're professional. You're wise, you're personable, but perhaps your greatest virtue is your patience that you show me every day, you show our students every day. And if you could please come on up.
Thanks, Rabbi. You're too kind. For real. All right. So I've got the awards and a couple of things to go through on that. But before I get started on it, I do want to say something about this class. So this class was my incoming class. Right? They were ninth graders my first year here. So I started with them. And we've got the four guys who've been through the whole time. Through that time, there's been a lot of whining, right? But once I got over myself, these guys went from one of them literally getting his head stuck in a cubby. He's not. To saying, I can't do this. To saying, maybe I can. To then doing it. And for some of them, it wasn't as easy as it was for the other guys. But they kept trying. And that's a bigger indicator of anything else to me, that they didn't stop. It was perseverance in pursuit of a goal. So for that, I'm really proud of these guys, and I think they should be proud of themselves. Beyond a shadow of anything else, they proved that they can do something that wasn't hard, wasn't easy, and wasn't always something that they wanted to do. But they're here right now, sitting there, because they did it. All right, so we have a couple of yearly awards that we give out, and then we also have the Honor Roll and Distinguished Honor Roll, so I just want to recognize those guys. For Honor Roll, that is a GPA of 3 or higher for the year. The guys who've earned that, and this is literally in no particular order, are Ephraim Mandel, Ellie Stein, Ozzie Keller, Menachem Lorner, Mocha Ribiat, Shalom Babad, Yanni Taub, and Benny Kleinberg. The Distinguished Honor Roll, which is a 3.5 GPA or higher, is Shaya Akoka, Yehuda Minkin, Moshe Cohn, YZ Chapley, Mendel Gurovich, and Morty Kupperwasser. So there are certificates, but those are in the office. If you want them afterward, we can do that. All right. So the other two awards that I've got are the Attendance Award and the Scholarship Award. So the Attendance Award goes to the guy who's got the best attendance over the course of the year. And this guy dethroned our 3-time reigning champion in that. It is not you, Ellie Stein. It is Yitzi Belsky. Right. And then I'm going to wrap this up, otherwise Ribiat's going to have stubble. So our scholarship award, guy with the highest GPA in the building over the course of the year, is also somebody who dethroned someone who's had this for 3 years. This year's top scholar is Shaya Akoka. Thank you.
Wow. We're very fortunate to have a very good relationship with the shul that's attached next door. And from time to time, there's various matters of business, and 2 recent conversations I had, one with their treasurer, Mr. Ken Levine. We were talking about something to do with the utilities, and I mentioned after we had gotten through the utilities and some of the overages and how we have to make sure that the dumpster is closed, otherwise the company charges us because they think it's overflowing. And then I had mentioned to him, what a nice group of Balabatim, what a nice group of people that you have there. I had another conversation with Mr. Larry Rothenberg, who's an attorney, and he takes care of our contract with the shul. And I said the same thing after we had gone through the details we had to work out. I said, what a nice group of people that you have. I'm familiar with a lot of shuls around the city, around the country, and there's a lot of, it's to say the least, you really have a great group of people there. And they both said the identical thing, and this conversation happened a few days apart. They said it's our rabbi. It's our rabbi. Our rabbi doesn't put up with, he makes sure that we're on the skinny, we get along, we do things correctly, and we're very fortunate to have here Rabbi Spiegler. Now, if I didn't make him blush enough, I've said this in the past, but I think this is it's an important introduction to Rabbi Spiegler. I saw this in a sefer called Megid Givos Olam by Rabbi Shurkin, and he writes that there were 3 different people that were asked from the same era, from probably about 100 years ago era, 3 different people that were asked, what's the job of a rabbi? Where's Rabbi Spiegler? Is he here? Oh, okay. What's the job of a rabbi? So I'm going to tell you what your job is. I'm very good at telling other people what their job is, and what my job is, I don't know. But so they had asked the Aruch HaShulchan, the famous Paisik, the Aruch HaShulchan, Rabbi Epstein, and he said, well, the job of a rabbi is to paskin shaylas. People have to know what to do. So you don't know what to do, you ask the rabbi, is this tahar, is this tameh, is it kosher, is it not kosher, is it mutter, is it usher, do I owe, do I not owe? The job of a rabbi is to paskin shaylas. And, well, they had asked also Rabbi Rafal Shapiro, the Rosh Yeshiva of Volozhin, and he said, no, the job of a rabbi is to sit and learn Torah. Make sure that he studies Torah and he's well-versed and he learns Torah all day long. And then they had also asked his son-in-law, Reb Chaim Soloveitchik, and he said the job of a rabbi is to do chesed with the people that are in his congregation. So Rabbi Spiegler, being that he's a brisker, he's machmir, and he's machmir to fulfill all 3 shitas. And with that, we'd like to call up Rabbi Spiegler to give an address to our graduates.
Okay, thank you for that very kind embellishment. Mazel tov to all the graduates, to the family, and to the friends, to everyone who's here. I'm very nervous. I've never really done this before. I've never had the opportunity to speak at a graduation. In fact, don't tell anyone, I did not graduate high school. Yeah, you didn't have to do this, it turns out. But we're here anyway, so yeah, it's a story for a different time. But I'm going to do my best. Hopefully we'll learn a little something together. I'd hope to be able to address you guys. I may not turn around so much, but I am talking to you. Yeah? Okay, good, excellent. One could argue, you don't have to, but one could argue that all of Sefer Bamidbar really is a book that's teaching us what we're supposed to do after we've accomplished something big. A life-changing, world-changing, historic event. What is it that we're supposed to do next? Because if you think about it, all of Sefer Shmos, what happens? The Jewish people, they leave the land of Egypt, and then they receive the Torah, and hypothetically that would have been great, then we should have moved on to the land of Israel. There was a minor setback, and the Jewish people, they build the Mishkan. That's the conclusion of Sefer Shmos. So then you have Sefer Vayikra, which tells us what we're supposed to do in the Mishkan, and now we're ready for what happens next. We took year and change to build the Mishkan. Now, what do we do? So hypothetically, best case scenario is we spend some time using the Mishkan, and then Hashem commands us to go on what's called the Great March to the land of Israel. That's what it's supposed to be, and unfortunately, as we know, the wheels quickly come off of the wagon. But in theory, Sefer Bamidbar is trying to tell us what do you do after you've accomplished something big. So if you look right at the beginning of Sefer Bamidbar, the Torah tells us that Hashem speaks to Moshe b'midbar Sinai. B'midbar Sinai. And Ibn Ezra asks, what happened to Har Sinai? It used to be a mountain, right? The mountain was significant. We know Moshe keeps going up and down the mountain multiple times. And now all of a sudden we're not talking about Har Sinai, we're talking about Midbar Sinai. What happened? What changed? So says the Ibn Ezra very simply. He says, yes, there was a point where Hashem spoke to Moshe on top of the mountain. But now they have a Mishkan. So he doesn't speak to him up on the mountain anymore. He speaks to him from the Midbar, from the Ohel Moed. That's where they're going to be talking from now on. So Ibn Ezra is perhaps keying us into something important. Har Sinai, which was the end-all, the be-all, the lightning show. We know an incredibly important, world-changing, historic event. We know how significant it was supposed to be, how significant it was. We think about it every single day. We certainly have a holiday that celebrates the receiving of the Torah. And then once it was over, that place became insignificant. Now we're moving on. We're going on to the next thing. And it doesn't mean that we're downplaying its significance. It just means we've accomplished what we needed to accomplish. It's great, it's big, we're going to talk about it, we're going to celebrate it, but then it's time to move on to the next thing. The Har Sinai is no longer significant. The Midbar Sinai is now significant. What was once this great, amazing peak of a mountain ultimately becomes a stepping stone to something far greater. That's what Ibn Ezra seems to say. And perhaps that's an appropriate message for us to consider here at a graduation. This is significant. This is big. This is tremendous. We're all here to celebrate everything that you've accomplished. And as your principal just said, sometimes it was a little bit easier. Sometimes it was not as easy. Maybe it was a little bit treacherous climbing up that mountain. But as excited and as happy as we are in Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, at the end of the day, this cannot be the peak of your existence. If we were to see you in 50 years from now and ask you, what did you accomplish over your life? Rabbi Yid, tell me, what did you do? And you say, I graduated high school. We'll say, well, that's great. But maybe there was something else. Maybe you then went on to Eretz Yisrael and you learned a lot of Torah, you became a Talmid Chacham. Ooh, wah. Maybe you became an accomplished professional. Maybe you became a contributing member of a community or a community leader. Maybe you became a father. Maybe you became a teacher. Maybe you became a lawyer or an accountant. Whatever it was, all those different things. You became a good person, a good Jew. Ooh, wah. That is something. The fact that you graduated high school, and again, it's easy for me to say because I never did it, right? But that is great and wonderful to a point. But now we're ready for something else. Yes, you were on top of the Har. That's where we are right now, on top of the mountain. But now we're going into the Midbar. We're going into the wilderness, onto what's big and what's next. But before I downplay the significance of this graduation, which seemingly I just did, just cut out all the wind from this thing, right? The Torah is very clear that yes, you need to move on, but it matters how you move on. So in Parshas Ba'aloscha, we read the story of the Misonanim, as we were talking about before, and the Asaf Suf, and all these different stories of people who are complaining and crying, so on and so forth. If you look at the Gemara Masechah Shabbos on Daf Kuf Tes Zayin, it tells us that the Jewish people, they made a big mistake, what the Gemara calls a Puranos. What was their big mistake? So the pasuk tells us, "Vayis'u me'har Hashem." They left the mountain of Hashem. They left Har Sinai, which we just said, which is great. That's what they're supposed to do. The Har is no longer significant. Go into the Midbar. They did it right. But how did they leave? So the Bali Tosfos over there say, you know how they left? Kitino kayotze mi beis hasefer, or as the Ramban has it, I think he made it a little bit more famous, Kitino kaboreach mi beis hasefer, like a child running out of school, a child fleeing from school. Yes, you are supposed to move on from the Har Hashem. Yes, that can't be the greatest accomplishment you ever had, but how do you move on? Do you run away? Do you flee? You don't look back? You totally forget? This is just a footnote in your life that you were here for 4 years or whatever it was? No, that can't be. It can't be that you're fleeing from here even though you're moving on. You always have to have a connection here. You always have to have your memories here. You also always have to take what you had and bring it along with you. In fact, if you look at the Ramban, there's a big machlokas between the Rashi and the Ramban. What was the role of the Mishkan? Rashi says it's in response to Chet HaEgel. Jewish people, they make a big mistake with the Chet HaEgel, with the sin of the golden calf. They need a greater physical representation, so Hashem says, good, build a Mishkan. The Ramban says, no, that's not what it was at all. You know what the Mishkan was? It was taking the Har Sinai experience along with them. They needed a portable Har Sinai to take along with them. Meaning what? It's time to move on from this Har, from this mountain, but take it all with you. You learned so much in these halls. You established incredible relationships, not only with your teachers and your rabbeim, your friends. You learned all sorts of important ideas in Torah and perhaps, I don't know, history, math, science, those things. Every experience that you've had here hopefully was a positive one. Take that with you wherever you're going next. You need to make sure that this wasn't just a small little footnote. Yeah, I happened to go to high school and that was it. No, this is important. This is significant. We are celebrating this as a party, but it needs to be something that you take along with you. So I'm almost telling you two opposite things, but I think that they're right? Because we can appreciate a little bit of nuance. On the one hand, this can't be the greatest accomplishment of your life, as great and as wonderful as it is. But at the same time, don't run away from this place. And you know what? If the Rosh Hashiva calls you in a few years to make a donation, answer the phone call. Answer the phone call. Yeah. Everyone here in this room is so proud, so happy about what you accomplished, but they recognize, even though, yes, you had to work hard to climb up that Har, ultimately, like we said, it's just a stepping stone. It was a mountain. Now it's time to move on to something bigger and greater. We expect, and we know that you can accomplish many, many great things. It's important. It's become a much bigger thing now to refer to ourselves not just as B'nai Yeshiva, but as B'nai Aliyah. B'nai Aliyah, people who are constantly growing, people who are constantly climbing up that mountain. So I'll just conclude with a bracha to each and every one of you, a bracha, a challenge, maybe it's both. Just as we read in this past week's parsha from Kalev, what does he say? Alo na'aleh. We can surely go up. We expect only amazing and wonderful things from you, whether it's in the realm of Torah, whether it's in professional, whether it's in the community, whether it's in family. We know that you can do great things. Take everything that you had here along with you and do more and do better. Mazel tov, mazel tov.
Okay, so, thank you, Rabbi Spiegler. We're on to the main event. And now it's really the main event. Well, we are missing one boy today. One boy is, he's in Eretz Yisrael, Mendel Gurevich, and I think he spent most of last night in a shelter, and maybe by the time graduation is over, we'll meet him there. So we have our 12th graders. They've all prepared something. They've all prepared something brief and beautiful. And we'll start from Shaya, and then we'll move down the line. And I ask if everybody could keep their enthusiasms to clapping. Enthusiasms. Rabbi Parmet, is that plural or? Okay. Yeah. Sorry. To keep it to clapping, and at the end of each graduate speech, and just on a note, I'm really proud of you fellas. I really am. So Shaya, please.
Hello, everyone. We just recently went through the time period of Sfiras Omer and the Yom Tov of Shavuos, which is the Yom Tov that's all about the accepting of the Torah. The Yom Tov, as we all know, though, has a big lead up to it, where we count for 49 days in order to get ready and prepare for it. There's a strong lesson that we can learn in the mitzvah of Sfiras Omer. The more important something is, the more we prepare for it. Hence, the Torah gives us a full 49 days of preparation for the skif of the Torah. Luckily, I was in a yeshiva that puts a big emphasis on preparing me for the life that's ahead of me, and for teaching me how to truly know how to accept and actually enjoy Torah. just like in many ways the days leading up to Shavuos also do. I want to take this moment to thank Rabbi Kutov for accepting me into this amazing yeshiva and for all the countless amounts of time he puts into it. I also want to thank Rabbi Kushner for all the amazing Shabbosim and Yom Tovim that I got to spend in his shul in Canton. I want to thank Rabbi Maisels for helping me get into a great yeshiva that will set me up for life ahead of me, and of course for also making the speech. I also want to thank Rabbi Nussbaum for always showing me the deeper meaning of things and for always being someone you could talk to about anything. I want to thank Rabbi Parmet for always giving me a good laugh and teaching me how to always stay positive. I also want to thank Mr. Matla for always keeping English studies somewhat functional. And a big thank you to all the English teachers for not quitting on us. And most importantly, I want to thank my parents for always believing me and showing up on this big day and for sending me to this amazing yeshiva, even though it's in Cleveland. Thank you so much.
There were days in yeshiva where I wanted to quit, where I sat in shiur and felt like the words were flying over my head, where nothing clicked, where I looked at the clock and thought, how am I going to get through another hour, let alone another day? Things weren't always smooth. There were a lot of downs, and there were also a lot of ups. There were weeks that felt like months, and there were times where I felt like I wasn't growing and I was just surviving. But that's what makes this yeshiva so special, because growth happens when you push yourself. It happens when you're tired, but you still show up. The yeshiva didn't just teach me Gemara. It taught me determination. It taught me how to think, how to get up again, even if I failed over and over and over again. It gave us Rebbeim who didn't just teach us, they believed in us, even when we didn't believe in ourselves. So if you're here today thinking, I'm not the best person or I'm not perfect, just remember you showed up, you pushed through, and that alone makes you stronger than you think. I want to take some time to thank the 12th grade and the yeshiva for their incredible efforts in putting together our graduation trip to Panama and for working hours to fundraise and make it happen. We will all remember that forever. Thank you to my parents. I honestly don't think I could put into words how much you've done for me. You believed in me when I probably didn't deserve it, backed me even when I wasn't making it easy, and were always just there. Whether it was a late night talk, a last minute panic, or just needing someone to remind me who I am, you showed up. You didn't just support me through this journey, you were part of it every step of the way, and I'll never forget that, and I'll never stop being grateful for it. Rabbi Parmet, thank you for just being one of the happiest, nicest people I've ever met. Rabbi Kushner, thank you for all the Canton Shabbosim and just for being you. Rabbi Nussbaum, even though everyone likes to argue with you, we all know that you truly care about each and every one of us, so thank you. Rabbi Maisels, I have a lot to thank you for, and I could really go on and on, but I have to keep it short. So Rebbe, thank you for always being there for me and for us, for teaching me and tolerating me in the class the entire year. You've helped me learn and grow in ways you can't even imagine. I can't thank you enough.
Keep going.
Rabbi Kutov, first of all, thank you for creating this amazing yeshiva and having the most amazing Rebbeim, and thank you for accepting me into 12th grade twice. Thank you to all the teachers for teaching me so much and always being there to help. Dr. Orenstein, thank you for coming to Yeshiva for Night Seder and putting up with us. I really learned a lot and grew through you. And also thank you for all the jade. Thank you to our dorm counselors, Ari Anton and Mitzal Gaylor, for being the best dorm counselors we can ever have. Even if we don't always admit it. And yes, the pizza was always delicious. This speech was sponsored by Shmuel's Munch, and the Shabbos spread exquisite dips. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Hi, guys. I was thinking about starting my speech with the Dvar Torah. My bad, mother. Mom told me to keep this short, sweet, and to the point, so just here goes. In my short time in Y-High, I've grown academically, spiritually, and personally. I've had the privilege to learn not necessarily from like school books and like binders and stuff, but from like my Rebbeim and my teachers who truly care about my growth academically and my growth as a person. I came to Y-High basically just because I needed like a diploma and like a place to graduate like halfway through 11th grade. Now I get to walk out with that, friends and experiences that I know will stay with me long after I leave high school. I want to thank Rabbi Kutza for accepting me into Yeshiva, for all the work he puts into Yeshiva and all the Bachrim. I want to thank Rabbi Maisels for being there for me this year, always helping and encouraging growth in our lives and learning, and for helping finding Yeshiva in Israel for next year for me. I thank Rabbi Nussbaum for helping us release steam in like the healthiest way possible. I don't know if I utilized your class properly, but it was very helpful. Thank you. Rabbi Kushner, thank you for giving us all the amazing Shabbos in Canton and Rabbi Permet. Although I've never had you as a Rebbe, I want to say thank you for always lighting up the mood in yeshiva with your unique humor and your super cool birthday present. Really, thank you. Miss B, I never had you as like a math teacher, but like I sat in your classroom and did Apex, and that was really, really fun. So thank you. Rabbi Silverberg, you said like you don't want to be in my speech, but I know deep down like you really do. So thanks. I want to say thank you, Mr. Mallet, for being an amazing teacher and principal, helping and making sure I had what I needed to graduate. I want to thank my roommates for having by far the best and cleanest room all year. I want to say thank you to all my teachers, schoolmates, and classmates for giving me an incredible YHI experience. And I want to thank my parents who were there supporting and helping me, pushing me, not just through YHI, but as life as it comes. Last, I want to thank Hashem, because he's pretty helpful too. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Standing here today at our Yeshiva High School graduation, I feel incredibly proud. I made it. Proud of what we've accomplished. Grateful to the many people who made this possible. I'd like to thank a few people here, my parents, first of all. Thank you for your endless support and love. You sacrificed so much to give me every opportunity to grow, not just academically, but as a person, grounded in Torah and values. I love you, and I hope to continue making you proud. To Bubby, anxiety, your love and your strength, your unwavering commitment to me, helping me grow here throughout my whole life. You shaped me into what I am today. Thank you for always being there. To Rabbi Kutov and all the Rebbeim, thank you for going far beyond Sefarim and Shirim. You've taught us how to think deeply, live meaningfully, and connect our learning to our lives. You've shown us that Torah is not just something that we study, it's something we live. Thank you. To Mr. Matla, thank you for keeping the school accredited. Your hard work is very appreciated. And to Miss B, because you stuck around this long. As we graduate today, we're not just stepping forward into adulthood, we're stepping into a world filled with both uncertainty and purpose. We're living through challenging times, especially for Am Yisrael. And even in these times, especially times like these, we remember that the strength of the Jewish people has never come from physical strength alone. It comes from Hashem and Torah. Whether in times of peace or persecution, Torah has preserved us, uplifted us, and unified us. As we leave Yeshiva High School, we take with us not just knowledge, but identity. We carry the responsibility and privilege of continuing that unbroken chain of Torah, which has sustained our people for thousands of years. In a world that often feels chaotic, Torah gives us clarity. In times of darkness, it gives us light. To everyone who helped me reach this moment, thank you. Thank you for teaching me, guiding me, and getting me to where I am today. Thank you.
This is so awkward. Okay, so I would like to share with you all today the act on this school is taught. Change is it just happens. It's just like, it's so cool to see the whole school to be like so different. How how I first came here. It was it was just crazy to walk in here and see like the entire ceiling just crash down on you. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's like the amount of people, the amount of times I've seen like change in the school. It's like, it's crazy. It's it just, I think just like keep with you, I guess. I don't know. I kind of messed up on my speech, but whatever. See you guys.
This past week's Parsha Shalach tells the story of the Merag and the spies sent out to scout Eretz Yisrael. When they returned, they gave a discouraging report. They spoke of giants in the land and described fruits so massive that one person was needed just to send themselves this. They said to themselves, "This land is for us, we can't conquer it." What exactly did Bnei Yisrael do wrong? The land did seem overwhelming. Mefarshim explained the mistake wasn't in what they saw, but was in how they saw it. Instead of viewing the challenge as an opportunity and remembering that Hashem had promised them this land, they gave into fear. They saw the size of grapes as threatening, not as a sign of blessing. The tragedy is that there was so much good in the land. The master fruits were proof of its abundance, but instead of focusing on the positive, they only saw obstacles. B'nai Yisrael need to be grateful for what they were promised and recognize their potential. That's something I've really worked on my time in Ohio for the past 4 years. My Rebbe and my friends and my sister reminded me to stay positive, to be grateful, and to expect the best even when things seem difficult. Thank you, Rabbi Kuta, for accepting me this amazing yeshiva and putting every last bit of energy into the guys in the yeshiva. Thank you for teaching me to be patient. Thank you for teaching me to work with people. Thank you, Mr. Malin, for the countless hours you put into me to help me graduate. Thank you, Rabbi Permet, for always adding the light to my day and having an ear to listen to and a shoulder to lean on. Thank you, Rabbi Kushner, for always accepting all the difficult and not difficult topics. Thank you for the best Shabbos in my life and teaching me what Shabbos is really about. Thank you, Rabbi Nisman, for believing me enough to challenge me. Thank you for being patient with me while teaching me how to just live. Thank you, Rabbi Mazos, for guiding me, especially through this year, telling me how to always be joyful and to look on the brighter side even when I resisted. To my beloved parents, thank you for always being there for the highs and lows. I cannot have done without you. Thank you for always putting up with me even when I probably made it a bit difficult. Most of all, thank you, Hashem, for putting me in this amazing yeshiva and bringing me to this milestone.
Yoni. A little nervous. L'chaim. I want to take it back for a moment in time. It was the middle of 10th grade when I first pulled up to this building. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know anyone. I definitely did not know where I fit in. I must have looked completely lost because before I could even open the door, a guy walked right up to me, smiled, and said, "Hey, I'm Mayor. What's up? I got you." The moment stuck with me because it told me everything I'd come to learn about this place, that nobody here is left to figure it out alone. From that first day, I wasn't just a new guy. I was part of something bigger. Over the past 2.5 years, that's exactly how it's felt. We're more than classmates. We're a brotherhood. We've had deep schmoozes, loud forbearings, and yes, many occasional chimes. Obviously only for spiritual purposes. Wiles. We have laughed, we've grown, we've pulled each other through more than we probably even realized. And they're Bram and Mr. Mallet. They weren't just standing there on the sidelines, they were in it with us. Not just teachers, but mentors, role models, who generally care about each and every one of us. They pushed us, they encouraged us, they believed in us. They expected us to work hard and even harder than we thought we could. Give up, that was never even a choice. To my schoolmates, to my classmates, and especially to my roommates, a huge thank you. You made the hard days easier, the good days unforgettable. To Rabbi Permet, Rabbi Silverberg, Rabbi Nussbaum, Rabbi Meisels, Rabbi Kushner, Rabbi Kuta, and Mr. Mallah, thank you for believing in me, for pushing me, and for hearing me out. I don't mean just listening, I mean truly hearing me and generally understanding. Your guidance made a difference, and I'll never forget that. To my parents, thank you for always being there behind the scenes. Your support, your patience, and your fearlessness, and your belief in me, even when I didn't fully believe in myself. I couldn't have done this without you. The school isn't just a building with classrooms and dorm rooms. It's not just a place where we learn, chilled, or hung out. It's where we each became who we are. Thank you.
Wow. Shalom Rabbanim, Moirim, parents, friends, and most importantly, my fellow graduates. Wow, we made it. After years of early mornings, late nights, and coffee that tastes like teshuva, years of arguing over Tosfos and Rajba, knowing our lives depend on it, we are finally here at this point on stage graduating. Wow, Baruch Hashem. Now, don't get me wrong, I love yeshiva. Where else can you passionately argue for 45 minutes about one word in Rashi and still walk away best friends? Only in yeshiva you can say you're completely wrong and still be a deep sign of respect and love. As I stand here today, I want to share a pasuk I've been thinking about a lot. Efat Mirak Sadek Vihi Sadek Adonai Lachem Ani Adonai Ahechem Asher Etzei Eschem Eretz Mitzrayim. Honest weights and measures shall you have. I am Hashem your God who took you out of Egypt. Now I know what you're all thinking. Wait, we're graduating, now we're giving a speech about measuring flour. But this pasuk isn't about weights and scales. It's about how we live. It's about integrity. Hashem took us out of Egypt not just so we can be free, but so we can be fair. Not just so we can leave slavery, but so we can live with a purpose. That's why he mentioned Yitzias Mitzrayim here, because freedom without value is just chaos, but freedom with Torah that's greatness. So what does it mean for us now that we're here leaving that comfort and occasional chaos of our yeshiva life? It means that wherever we go, either it's the army, university, or a job, or even just figuring things out, we can carry our weights and measures with us. Not in our backpacks, but in our midas. Will we be honest? Will we be kind? Will we remember our choices that matter, even when no one is watching? Because outside the walls of the base medrash, the tests aren't multiple choices. There are no answer keys, just consequences, your character, and your connection to Hashem. And by the way, just like yeshiva, sometimes outside people will still think you're wrong even though you're right. The difference is you don't always get to argue with the Taisvais to prove your point. Tell our Rebbeim, thank you for your patience and your wisdom and your occasional bad jokes that somehow made us laugh. To our families, thank you for supporting us, encouraging us, and pretending to understand when we came home excited and said something like, "You won't believe what animal got into our school this time." And to my fellow graduates, we didn't just survive yeshiva, we thrived, we grew, we built a friendship, learned Torah, and discussed who we are and who we want to be. Let's take this honesty, the value, and yes, even the humor, and bring it with us to the next stage. Let's be kind of people who live in the Efat Tzaddik and the Hen Tzaddik, not just because the Torah says so, but because we know it's the right way to live. Mazel tov to all of us. May our future be as bright as our Florence's lights in the base medrash, but slightly less headache interjection. Thank you. I want to give a huge shout out to Munch. Shkaya!
What's up, everyone? I'm standing up here at graduation, and some of you are shocked. Honestly, same. It's been a journey at a little school, a lot of time, some deep conversations, and a healthy amount of disappearing acts. Let's not pretend like this is it was a typical high school experience between late nights, plenty of chilling, and the kind of partying that deserves its own diploma. I learned a lot. Not always in the classroom, but still a lot. But seriously, through all the labs craziness and rule breaking, even our Mazel's rule makings, I did grow in every way I could, spiritually, emotionally, and yeah, even a little academically. I learned how to think deeper, live better, and be more of who I actually want to be. I started to realize that growth isn't about being perfect, it's about showing up for real. It's about becoming more honest and more grounded and more connected to who you are and who you want to be. Rav Kook said that the greatest darkness is when people forget who they are. While I didn't teach me Torah, it reminded me of who I am. Every oneg, every shir, every challenge along the way, I was becoming something a little more awake, a little more alive, a little more me. I want to give a huge thank you to Rabbi Silverberg and Rabbi Permet. Thank you for always bringing great vibes to Yeshiva. Your energy, guidance, and support made this place feel like more than just a school. It made it feel like home. A special thank you to Rabbi Kushner. The Shabbosim in Canton were amazing, unforgettable, uplifting, meaningful, and full of warmth. I want to give a sincere thank you to Rabbi Maisels. The past year, you didn't just teach me, you believed in me, you pushed me, you guided me, and made sure that I stayed on track even when things got tough. More than that, you went above and beyond helping me get into my yeshiva for next year, opening doors I didn't even know were there. Your support and dedication have made a huge difference in my life, and I'm truly grateful for everything you've done. Thank you for not just being a Rebbe, for being someone who really cared. A big heartfelt appreciation to Rabbi Nussbaum. Truly, the true definition of consistency, strength, and quite support. You were always there, steady and dependable, even when I didn't always realize how much I needed it. Knowing you had my back gave me the confidence to keep going, and your calm presence made all the difference. I want you to know that how much it meant to me, and your support was real, and I won't forget it. Thank you. And of course, thank you to Rabbi Kutov. No one's quite like you. Honestly, no one could be. Thanks for always keeping us in line in your own unique way. I want to give a special thank you to Mr. Mala, who never gave up on me. You pushed me harder than anyone else, changed me to be better, and made sure I crossed the finish line with my diploma in hand. Without your patience and dedication and belief in me, I wouldn't be standing here today. I truly appreciate everything you did to help me get here. Thank you. I want to thank the entire faculty and staff, from our English teachers to every single person who works behind the scenes. Each of you has played an important role in shaping our year and supporting every step of the way. I want to say the biggest thank you to my parents. Honestly, I don't know where I would be without you. Your love, support, and constant belief in me have been the foundation that got me here today. You've been the rock through my challenges, my biggest cheerleader in every success, and my guiding light when things felt uncertain. Everything I've achieved is because of you and your sacrifice, your patience, and your endless encouragement. I'm so grateful for everything you've done, and I hope you know how truly amazing you are. Thank you for being there every step of the way and for helping me become the person I am today. And most importantly, thank you to Hashem for. I wouldn't be here today if not for you. Your strength carried me and everything. Thank you. And that's what I'm taking with me, not just the jokes, the cheers, and the l'chaims, but the Torah that became mine, the growth that became real, and the friends who turned into family. I'm walking out of here, not just with the diploma, but with directions. And for that, I'm truly grateful. Thank you for everyone who helped me get to this moment. It's been real, and it's been meaningful, and I'm great. And to everyone graduating with me, we did it. Big respect, much love. Go Birds.
Thank you, guys. It was great. Before we do the diplomas, I do want to mention Aryeh, Betzalel, are you there? Where are you guys? There you are. Aryeh and Betzalel, our dorm counselors, the trips to the grocery stores, the trips to the emergency rooms, the late night conversations, knowing when to tell me and when not to tell me. You put a lot of work into it, and I really, really appreciate the two of you. If you notice the young lady in the back with the big poster, Rabbi Kushner runs, other than this yeshiva, as part of the board members and a Rebbe. He's a rabbi in Canton, Ohio, and we have a very beautiful relationship with the shul in Canton, Ohio. And they welcome our boys for Shabbosim, and they teach them lessons that we're not able to teach them in a regular classroom. And I really appreciate it. It's a beautiful community, and Rabbi Kushner really puts his heart and soul into those Shabbosim. So thank you, Rabbi Kushner, and thank you, Dia, for coming and representing the shul. From our board of directors, again, we do have a few members here, but certainly the most active, the one that asks the hard questions and demands the hard answers, a sound source of advice, good advice, and a sound bouncing board for ideas. Dr. Keller, we'd like to ask you to come up and help out with the diplomas. Additionally, do we have the? Yeah, okay. Additionally, I'd like to ask Rabbi Meisels, who has really put so much effort and 25 hours and a 24-hour day into our boys this past year, to come up and honor us by handing out the Svarim. And after we're done with the diplomas and the Svarim, I invite everybody to partake and enjoy Mrs. Ludner's fine work in the back. And we'll do mincha about 20 minutes after that. Thank you so much.
So we're gonna take a long. Are you speaking now? Yeah, for 1 minute. Unless you want. Mazel tov to all the graduates, mazel tov to the parents, the grandparents, and all the family who's here. You know, Rabbi Kutov started with thanking the staff and the Rabbeim. And as you heard the boys speak, the teachers, the Rabbeim here, are not looking just to make sure that they can answer a math problem or a science problem, or could just say over Rashi or Taisus. We're really building future members of Am Yisrael, and on behalf of the board, I can't thank each and every one of you enough. Although Rabbi Kutov couldn't thank one person, and that was himself. No one here has an idea of what Rabbi Kutov actually does. I don't either, but I know a lot more of it because I get the calls at the various times. So I'd like to ask everyone to please stand and help me really appreciate Rabbi Kutov for all that he does. All right. So we got one more thing to do before the party really starts, and that's, to give out the diplomas. Rabbi Meisels. Okay, each of the boys will be getting a sefer and their diploma
They're all under here. We're going to go in alphabetical order. Now, as Rabbi Kutov said, please keep applause to a minimum for each one so we can get through it. Shaya Koka.
How are we doing this?
Just stand up there, take a picture. And
Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more.
Shalom Babad.
Again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Yitzhak Chapley.
Hold it straight.
Hold it straight.
Again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3.
Yoni Dubin.
Yoni. Who would have known?
Nehemiah Dunov. No? No, I didn't. Don't worry. Benjamin Kleinberg.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Hold it up right. Take your hand off it so you can. There you go. And last one.
All right.
Mordechai Ribia.
Come up. 3, 2, 1, and one more. Excellent job.
Baruch Sherman.
Look over here.
Let's go on.
3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Want to do that too? It cost me some.
How much more?
Sruli Silverman.
That's it, right?
That's it. Wow.